You haven't got a world-class goalkeeper, you haven't got a dominant defender, you haven't got a striker, you haven't got a leader.
Yep.
So where did that money go? From all of this now, we're joined by the host of Chelsea Fan TV, Alex Harris. Morning, Alex.
Good morning, Alex.
Good morning. How's it going?
Yeah, good, mate. Look,
going well, mate.
Before we get on to Jorgensen and goalkeepers and the such like, taking an overview of the season, I mean, you finished 6th last season with 63 points. At the moment, you're 7th, and you've only got 43 points. Are you confident that you're going to finish higher and on a higher number of points than last season?
If you asked me a couple of weeks ago, I would have said yes. Now I have to say no. We are just a mess. We are a mess from top to bottom. And the last time I come in here and I spoke to you, Jeff, I spoke about the manager. I spoke about Robert Sanchez. We've just seen what's happened with Jorgensen. I thought he was better than that, but even still, he's inclined to have a couple of bad games, because if you can keep playing Sanchez for as bad as he's been, Jorgensen deserves a couple of months at least. But from my standpoint, I think that Maresca's almost in an impossible situation, and the players are in a way as well, because they can only play with the players around them. We don't have a manager who's competent enough to adapt a system. We don't have directors who are willing to sign the right players. We don't have an ownership that care enough to strive and be ambitious. You look at Aston Villa and you compare them to Chelsea. What is the difference? And I'll tell you the difference. The difference is you have a team that is ambitious and a team that has no ambition. And, I don't want to talk about it too much because I know you want to speak about the game, but it's worth touching on the fact that tomorrow as well, there will be a protest at 6 o'clock, and a lot of Chelsea fans, myself included, will be there. I know that Simon spoke with Stevie, one of the Chelsea fans, and he absolutely he killed him. He killed him, and he didn't get a chance to get his point across. So I will, because it is really important that we speak about this, Jeff. Our ownership are killing us. They are killing us. We went from having the best owner in world football to having a consortium who don't care about us. We had Jonathan Goldstein coming out saying Enzo Maresca's job is secure. Oh, that's brilliant. Coming from a Spurs fan, because that means a lot. You really care about the club, don't you? We have no spine after £1.5 billion spent. We don't have a competent striker. We don't have any depth in the centre-back roles. We don't have any quality there. We didn't replace Silva. We don't have a goalkeeper. We're probably in the double digits now in terms of how many goalkeepers we have at this football club. We picked our manager from a championship side. Where are the standards at this club? Nobody cares about football anymore. Unfortunately, it's all about business, which isn't a problem because you can still be successful. But the fact that we're so incompetent and it seems like we are totally blind to the mess that we have created for ourselves, that is why I'm so concerned as a Chelsea fan. Oh, not to mention the fact that Todd Bowley's on the board of Vivid Seats as well. If you want to get a ticket to the game on Southampton, you probably can, but it would be upwards of 500 quid. So if you fancy spending a bit of extra money to watch Chelsea lose again, you can always do that.
You know something, Alex? I'm going to tell you something, mate, right? Simon's entitled to his opinion, but the one thing that you boys are entitled to is your opinion. Now, a lot of people will say, what are they moaning about? You know, they're getting a lot of money spent on their team and in their club, and it's not been used correctly. But you're absolutely well within your rights to be concerned about your football club, no matter whether you're spending money or not. I actually think just about everything you've said, I actually agree with, to be honest with you. The one thing you can't say that the managers and coaches haven't been backed, because they have, because money's been given. But the people, I take your point. You've got a problem with the people that are spending the money, the people that are giving the money, and the way they're using the money. Is that fair?
Absolutely. And the thing is, this is one of the points of confusion we've had around this protest, is people are going, what is the clear message here? And my stance is very simple, because there are people that think different things. You've got Bluco out, who people don't like the ownership. You've got Winstanley and Stewart out, the directors. And then you've got change the model. All right. So you've got three different things that people are unhappy with. And you could argue that all of those things could be protested for different reasons. Now, my stance on it is very simple. It doesn't matter if you have three groups of people at this protest, because they all have one thing in common. They are not happy. They feel like we are being run into the ground. And quite frankly, we were singing in December, we've got our Chelsea back, but that was before the January window. We saw how unambitious we are and the fact that we are moving backwards. We are moving backwards. We have a coach that's worse than last season. We have an ownership that don't learn from their mistakes. And we're not going to finish in a European spot. I'm not going to lie to you. I don't even see how are Chelsea going to finish above Bournemouth the way we're playing. I saw Newcastle beat Nottingham Forest. Are we going to finish above them? Honestly, I ask you this, guys. Do you think that Chelsea can finish in a European position? Forget Champions League. Let's not waste our time here. But maybe a Conference League spot or a Europa League spot if we're lucky. If we don't win the Conference League, then our season is done.
You know what, Alex? I take your points, but a lot of football fans are going to be saying, that Chelsea fans have got a sense of entitlement here because you spent an absolute fortune on players. I've got a text here saying Chelsea weren't that bad. They could have gone 2-0 up early in the game. How do the owners not care? They spent over £1 billion on players. Wow, another protest against an owner. This is truly embarrassing.
What, Jeff?
Well, but that's not the point, is it? Nobody's saying that their judgment has been good because it clearly hasn't. But to say they don't care, Jill's texted in and said, she was a Manchester United fan, saying, join the club, Alex. Manchester United fans are going to point out what's happening at their club and saying it's much, much worse than what's happening at Chelsea.
You make a very fair point, Jeff, and people are totally entitled to say that. The decline of Manchester United since the Glazers took over was slow and steady. They still picked up league titles, took them quite a long time before they got to the situation they're in now. We have been under this consortium for 3 years, and we're already talking about the fact that we're a mid-table club. We have an owner that actually relishes the opportunity to be like Brighton. Can you believe that? He said that publicly. He's come out and said, we love the Brighton model. Why? Because they are profitable, because they spend 10% of their revenue on their wages, and they are a profitable, stable, mid-table club. When he was actually speaking about this, Egg Barley, he spoke about this publicly with the owners of AC Milan at a conference in America, I think. And he said, you're going to make money on this deal. You're going to make money on this deal. Everything is about money. It's not even the fact that we're guessing this stuff. I'm just quoting people at this point. And you look at Feliciano. He says, we care more about having a good business model than success on the pitch. I just spoke about Jonathan Goldstein. He's not even a Chelsea fan and he owns a part of the club. Do you think he cares about the future of this football team? There's no ambition whatsoever. And we've got Hansi Viss. The only reason Hansi Viss is involved in Chelsea is because he doesn't like Abramovich. I mean, what are we doing here?
Alex, look, it's great to hear your passion, mate.
Magic, Alex.
Yeah, fantastic. And you've got every right to protest. I'll be honest with you, I don't think it's going to change anything. But look, thanks very much indeed for joining us, Alex.
All the best.
Thanks, guys.
And Alex,
some Jeff, I can see the point. I can understand people think there's an entitlement, but I don't think there is an entitlement with Alex. I think Alex's concern is he doesn't want to see Chelsea go the way Manchester United have gone.
Yeah, but look, I mean, in fairness, Alex is getting battered on the text at the moment. Phil Roberts says Chelsea fan out of Tosh, moaning about January transfers. They couldn't spend anymore. Are these people real? And Tom in Middlesbrough said, spoilt brat of a Chelsea fan whose team's only successes have come from throwing money at it. No sympathy for him. Wants to try and support one of the teams that are genuinely being run poorly in this country. Thank you very much indeed. Look, he's a football fan, and he feels for his football club, and I don't think we should criticise him for that.
talkSPORT Breakfast, waking you up Monday to Friday morning from 6 a.m. on AM, on DAB, via the talkSPORT app and on your smart speaker. talkSPORT.